All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America Talks Live. I'm Steve Malzberg, and we're going to go in depth on the police shootings in Charlotte and in Tulsa, and also a little Don King news. But first, here's my colleague Miranda Khan with a news update.
Thanks, Steve. The man suspected in the New Jersey and New York bombings now faces additional charges. Prosecutors charge Ahmad Khan Rahami on 4 counts, including use of weapons of mass destruction and bombing a public place. Police captured Rahami on Monday after a shootout in New Jersey. You're looking at video from that. They say he was carrying a notebook where he wrote about jihad and praised Osama bin Laden. Rahami is still in the hospital.
Not really sure how many people, but there was a couple of rocks thrown through the front glass door.
And violent protests erupt in North Carolina after police shot and killed Keith Lamont Scott. Officers say they were searching for a suspect with an outstanding warrant when they saw Scott get out of his car with a gun. Police say he was shot after he refused to drop that weapon. And Fox News personality Sean Hannity may be in some hot water. This after appearing in a new Donald Trump ad. In the video, Hannity says that he's backing Trump due to his commitment to vet refugees and to build the border wall with Mexico. But the Washington Post reports Hannity did not have Fox's permission to appear in this ad. And for much more on these stories, please visit Newsmax.com. I'm Miranda Khan. Back to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Miranda. Appreciate it. All right, folks, I want to get to something before I get in depth on 2 police shootings. And one is what Don King had to say today. Boxing promoter Don King, who, you know, back in the 80s, I was with Don King. I mean, I knew him, but I didn't hang out with him. But what I mean is, at Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, Trump Plaza used to host so many fights. And I did a sports talk show at the time on WABC Radio here in New York. And we used to take our show to the road to Atlantic City, and King and Trump and everybody. So that's how I got to know, you know, Donald Trump in the first place early on. And so Don King has known Trump forever, and he's in support of Trump. Today he introduced Trump, and the media is going nuts because in describing or introducing Trump, rather, King used the N-word. Watch.
I said, if you're poor, you are a poor Negro. I would use the N-word. But if you're rich, you are a rich Negro. If you are intellectual, you're an intellectual Negro. If you are dancing and sliding and gliding, Negro, you are dancing and sliding and gliding Negro.
All right, so the media is up in arms that Don King said the N-word. I thought it was acceptable for blacks to say the N-word. Donald Trump didn't say it. What was he supposed to do, run up and punch King in the face? Come on. All right, on to the police shootings. Let's start with Charlotte. Police shot 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott after warning him repeatedly to drop his handgun as he was getting out of his car. Cops say that he got out of the car with the handgun. There were verbal commands which were heard by witnesses. They instructed him once he got out of the vehicle to drop the weapon. He exited the vehicle armed with a handgun. As they continued to yell, "Drop it," so they shot him. Now here's what happened afterward. You want to see protests? This is just some of the protests. Here, you could see they're destroying a police cruiser. You know, typical stuff. We had 12 police officers hurt in this rioting, and that's what it is, rioting. I hope every one of them is arrested. They also looted a Walmart in Charlotte because, hey, what else are you going to do? You know, loot a Walmart. So that's what they did. Now, folks, I want you to also listen to the daughter of Keith Lamont Scott, who was shot, and she seems to think the thing happened in a completely different manner.
Ain't nobody going home. Y'all don't tell us what the to do.
I'm telling you guys to go home nicely, and we're going to come talk to you.
Well, I don't want to talk to y'all. I don't want to talk to y'all. I don't want to talk to y'all. Y'all white.
Why are you shooting the man?
I'm in 2 minutes.
Read the mother book. Read the book. Where the cop that shot my daddy? Where the cop that shot my daddy?
I know. They're going to pay. Trust me. I promise you on every day.
Where the cop that shot my daddy?
Swear to God on everything, they're going to pay.
All right. Now, I believe it was a black officer that shot her father. I heard her say that, and the narrative in the street is her father was sitting in the car reading a book. The police chief has said no book was found, nothing to read was found. The gun that he had with him and was holding was recovered at the scene. So, you know, is this another hands up, don't shoot, which never happened? If I had a bet, I'd bet yes. I'll believe the police. Okay, now we go to Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. A man walking on the road with his hands in the air, 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher, was shot by a female officer. He broke down on the road. She encountered him on the road. The truck was a traffic hazard. He was wandering on the road. She sees him. She doesn't know what his story is. She then, as you could see here, see him walking. She's saying, stop, 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 stop. He walks back to his car. She's saying this is going on for a minute. Stop, stop, stop. Walks back to the car. She perceives, this is her story, she perceives he's reaching into the car, and she's afraid that he might be armed. She also said during the course of their confrontation, he reached into one of his pockets several times. Didn't pull anything out, but kept reaching. So she's telling him, stop, 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 stop. He disobeys. That's mistake number one, whether or not this shooting is justified. That's mistake number one. You don't disobey a cop who's got a gun on you and says, stop. So he's just not listening, walking back. We're going back to his car. She perceives him to be going towards the window. She's afraid he's going to pull a gun. She shoots him. He dies. Okay? Hillary doesn't need the law to take its course. Hillary doesn't need to find out exactly what happened. Yesterday, Hillary said this.
We've got to tackle systemic racism, this horrible shooting again. How many times do we have to see this in our country? In Tulsa, an unarmed man with his hands in the air? I mean, this is just unbearable, and it needs to be intolerable.
Okay. An unarmed man means nothing. Nothing. An unarmed man could be doing this, and then you're shot. An unarmed man could be charging a cop. An unarmed man could be wrestling with a cop. An unarmed man means nothing that it turned out it was an unarmed man if the cop perceives a threat because of the actions of the perpetrator or suspect at the time. Is this justified? I don't know. We'll speak to Harry Houck in a second. And then Hillary's going to scold us white people, if you're white. Watch.
Maybe I can, by speaking directly to white people, say, look, this is not who we are. We've got to do everything possible to improve policing, to go right at implicit bias,